Hi, Redeemer families. It is so nice to see you again today. I hope you and your family are doing well. These last couple of weeks, we've spent a lot of time talking about God's mercy, His compassion, and faithfulness despite Israel's disobedience. This week, we're going to talk about a harder lesson to learn, God's judgment. When it came to God's relationship with Israel, He loved them so much and created good rules for them to abide by and keep them safe and content in their relationship with Him. But the Israelites continued to choose their own desires instead of God. They kept disobeying, choosing to not trust God, and walking away from Him and His good rules. In today's story, we're going to hear about how God finally had to let Israel's actions catch up with them. I'm pretty sure you've experienced a consequence before. Consequences are a result of our actions. Maybe one time you forgot to look where you were going and bumped into someone and it hurt, or rode too fast on your bike and lost control and fell down. Oh dear. This week I didn't double check our backyard gate and our dog ran away. Thankfully she came home a few minutes later, but all of these things are consequences. It's important for us to remember that when it comes to our relationship with God, there's some bad news and some amazing news. The bad news is that we sin. We do things that hurt others and act in ways that are disobedient to God's good rules. Sometimes these are things we intentionally do, or sometimes we might not even realize that we are sinning. There are consequences to sin, big consequences that are much bigger than bumps and bruises. The consequence of our sin has broken our relationship with God. That's the bad news. The very good news is that God knew about this sin problem. God loves us so much that He sent the perfect rescuer to save us from this sin problem. And of course, that hero is Jesus. Jesus took the consequences of our sin when He died on the cross. He overcame death and rose again. He is alive and He is coming back one day to make all the wrong things in the world right again. In the meantime, while we wait for His return, we can invite Jesus into our lives to make right our relationship with God right now. At our house this week, we watched a video version of a neat book called The Biggest Story. You might have seen this book or you might have it at home. It summarizes a lot of what we have studied these last several months, and you guys are going to recognize a lot of stories that you know. You can watch this week at your house too. Parents, this is on Right Now Media, and if you don't already have access, you can reach out to the church office to get a free login with our church subscription. There's a ton of great content there. As you study this week's story, be on the lookout for how Israel had to suffer some of the consequences of their disobedience. Remember that we can be so thankful that the story doesn't end here. The story begins and ends with Jesus. Also, think about what a difference Jesus' rescue makes in our lives. Even though we can't live perfect lives, we can enjoy friendship with God because of Christ's gift. Okay, friends, have a great week, and let's meet again right here. Bye.